both sides. And now, ladies and gentlemen, to help recognize the last 25 years of growing economic partnership between the United States and Vietnam, I would like to invite to the stage our distinguished guest, Minister of Industry and Trade, His Excellency Trần Tuấn Anh, the U.S. Ambassador to the Socialist Republic of Vietnam, Mr. Daniel Crittenbrink, and Chairman and President of VCCI, Dr. Vũ Tiến Lộc. Once again, we'd like to invite on stage His Excellency Trần Tuấn Anh, Mr. Daniel Crittenbrink, and Dr. Vũ Tiến Lộc. And now, ladies and gentlemen, to start our panel, please welcome Minister of Industry and Trade, His Excellency Trần Tuấn Anh.
Your Excellency Daniel Crittenbrink, Ambassador of the United States to Vietnam, Dr. Vũ Tiến Lộc, Chairman of Vietnam Chamber of Commerce and Industry, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Today, I am delighted to speak at the ceremony to celebrate the 25th anniversary of strengthening and promoting the economic and trade relations between Vietnam and the United States, organized in the framework of the Third Indo-Pacific Business Forum. I would like to take this opportunity to congratulate Vietnam Chamber of Commerce and Industry, U.S. Chamber of Commerce, and the U.S. ASEAN Business Council for the joint effort in successfully organizing this forum. I strongly believe that the forum would bring positive and essential impact to the cooperation of the region, at the same time proving the strong cooperation between Vietnam and the United States, especially amid the serious COVID-19 pandemic, which has caused unpredictable consequences affecting all aspects of the global cooperation. Ladies and gentlemen, the Asia-Pacific and India-Ocean region are amongst the most dynamic in the world, as well as the center of economic growth for decades. Southeast Asia lies in the center of the dynamic region. Therefore, it is in the interest of the ASEAN countries, including Vietnam, to lead the shaping of their economic and security architecture and ensure that such a dynamic will continue to bring about peace, security, stability, and prosperity for the people in the Southeast Asia, as well as in the wider Asia-Pacific and India-Ocean region, or the Indo-Pacific. For the past year, Vietnam has actively integrated with the world economy, becoming a dynamic and attractive market, a member of important international organizations, participating in various bilateral and multilateral trade agreements with partners around the world. Nowadays, Vietnam has become an integral part of the global free trade network, with its 13 FTA already in effect and 3 other FTA under negotiations. Vietnam has a deep economic link with nearly 60 economies in all continents, whose GDP accounts for nearly 90% of the world GDP, including 15 country members of G20. Distinguished delegate, ladies and gentlemen, along with Vietnam economic development, U.S. companies, especially in key economic sectors such as energy, aviation, finance, healthcare, education, distribution and retail, etc., have played an important role in building and strengthening the economic trade pillar, thereby laying the foundation for the two countries to widen the space and level the cooperation. Enhancing economic and trade relations have always been a driving force in promoting our overall bilateral relations, contributing substantially for the comprehensive cooperation between Vietnam and the U.S., step by step meeting the interests of the two countries' enterprises and people. At this Indo-Pacific Business Forum, we are delighted to witness the signing of many important agreements with great value and which play an important role in contributing to a new page of stronger and more comprehensive regional cooperation. This is clear evidence that the bilateral trade and economic relationship between Vietnam and the United States has already entered a new page of strong cooperation in many areas. In the near future, I believe that there will be a new wave of U.S. investment in Vietnam, benefiting enterprises and the people of the two countries. Ladies and gentlemen, Vietnam is pursuing our long-term economic and trade policies with all partners, including the United States, in a direction of sustainable and balanced manner. Vietnam welcomes United States initiative in promoting the cooperation in the Indo-Pacific region in a broader range of areas, including maritime cooperation, connectivity, a new page of stronger and more comprehensive cooperation. Dear distinguished delegate, ladies and gentlemen, Vietnam, as the chairman of ASEAN 2020, together with the ASEAN member, are strengthening cooperation more than ever before for a stable, dynamic, and creative ASEAN region. Vietnam highly appreciates the U.S. government commitment to the region and the great initiative that U.S. side have brought into Indo-Pacific Business Forum. I do believe that if we take action collectively, sharing our knowledge and experiences, we will become more united, more resilient to all future challenges and achieve a greater success in our cooperation. On the occasion of the 25th anniversary of Vietnam-U.S. trade and economic cooperation, I would like to express my deepest respect for the great contribution made by generations of leaders, politicians, organizations, trade associations, and business communities, as well as a Vietnamese American friend in promoting economic and commercial cooperation between our two countries. On the basis of the great achievement in the past 25 years, Vietnam's government and myself personally have always wished for and will do our best together with the U.S. side to promote the comprehensive partnership more and more strongly toward a new height for the benefit of the people of our two countries. Promoting peace, stability, and prosperity in the region and around the world. So, may I wish Vietnam and the U.S. business great success in the future. Wishing you all the very best. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you so much for your insightful remarks. Ladies and gentlemen, next up, I would like to introduce Mission Director Anne-Marie Yastik-Shop from the U.S. Agency for International Development to discuss the work of USAID over the last 25 years and their vision for Vietnam's future.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I'm deeply honored to be here today. In the annals of time, 2020 will be remembered for many things, few of them being the IMF forecast that Vietnam will remain one of the fastest growing economies in Southeast Asia. 2020 is also the year that Vietnam's GDP per capita will continue its steady rise and surpass yet another ASEAN economy, specifically the Philippines. Vietnam approved its first public-private partnership law this year, and Vietnam's institutions were tested and their resilience affirmed what many astute observers have known all along, that Vietnam is a steadily rising star in the region. While the specter of the COVID-19 pandemic remains, though through strong leadership and coordinated action, Vietnam has been able to rapidly extinguish the spread of the virus within its borders and reopen safely. However, being open for business has its limitations when neighbors and trading partners continue to suffer from the pervasive drop in consumer demand we are witnessing globally. While many large businesses are capable of weathering this challenging time by trimming operations or turning to established banking networks, the manufacturing and tourism sectors have been severely affected. As a result, many Vietnamese households are experiencing extreme financial uncertainty. Numerous small and medium-sized enterprises will struggle to regain their former momentum, and in some cases, businesses must face the prospect of terminating operations. In recognition of our enduring friendship with Vietnam, our partnership in the Indo-Pacific region, and the difficulties this pandemic poses, USAID contributed $9.5 million as well as a donation of 100 ventilators to support Vietnam's fight against COVID-19 and contribute to its economic recovery. Small and medium enterprises, or SMEs, play a central role in Vietnam's economy, accounting for 98% of all enterprises, 40% of the GDP, and employs 60% of the workforce. However, due to COVID-19, many of the typical issues faced by SMEs have been amplified, such as access to finance, human resource availability, and market access. In response, USAID programming such as the USAID Linkages for Small and Medium Enterprises project is helping SMEs seize new market opportunities, enhance production capability, and build management capacity. COVID-19 mitigation efforts are also helping business support organizations to target SMEs' access to finance needs, improve business matching, increase technology adoption, and enhance service delivery to SMEs. It's not enough to focus efforts on the challenges of the present, however, while the future lies in wait. Vietnam is charting a course beyond labor-intensive industry towards a knowledge-based economy. The pandemic is accelerating science and technology adoption to historic levels. Vietnam's goal of becoming the premier regional technology hub by 2045 is closer to reality than some may realize. USAID will continue to partner with Vietnam to lay a foundation for a greater market-oriented, innovative, and entrepreneurial ecosystem. This includes deepening private sector investment in infrastructure, electricity generation, and transmission, reducing the time and cost of trade, cutting the bureaucratic burden for businesses, both domestic and foreign, and equipping Vietnam's youth with the tools to create and innovate. One of USAID's longest ongoing projects in Vietnam is in partnership with the Vietnam Chamber of Commerce and Industry. The Provincial Competitiveness Index, or PCI, is a private sector-driven survey that serves as a barometer of provincial government performance. It set in motion years of healthy competition across Vietnam's 63 provinces that generated a virtuous cycle of business ecosystem reforms, reducing barriers, paperwork, and administrative processes. PCI is one of many economic governance reform efforts developed by USAID to engage with and address the needs of the private sector. Dr. Look, USAID recognizes VCCI's forward-leaning spirit, and we thank you for your continued partnership in this effort. Over the past 15 years, USAID has been working closely with Vietnam to strengthen the ability of local enterprises to scale operations, improve the business enabling environment, train emerging leaders, reduce the time and cost of trade, and enhance the national and provincial legal and regulatory framework to drive private sector investment, and we remain committed to supporting Vietnam's economic growth. As we mark 25 years of ever closer ties between Vietnam and the United States, I'm reminded that Vietnam's astonishing success over the years has consistently defied the naysayers. I anticipate that years to come will be equally breathtaking. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Anne-Marie Yastek-Schaup. Now, ladies and gentlemen, may we invite the U.S. Ambassador to the Socialist Republic of Vietnam, Mr. Daniel Crittenbrink, to give his remarks.
Morning, everyone. Nice to see everyone. Let me start by recognizing some of my many friends here. Mr. Trần Duan Anh, the Minister of Industry and Trade. Mr. Vu Tien Lop, the President and Chairman of the Vietnam Chamber of Commerce and Industry, my good friend and our co-sponsor today. We're very grateful to you, Dr. Lop. Thank you so much for your support. I want to recognize all of our many other friends here in the room. We have friends from central government to provincial government as well. I want to recognize my new friends from Hai Phong who are here and recently hosted me in their lovely city. Nice to see you today. Fellow ambassadors, members of the business community, Ginny and Chad, it's an honor to have you here. Friends like Don Lam are here, Mr. Sun from GE. It makes me really proud to have such an amazing U.S. business community here as well, and so delighted that so many friends from the Vietnamese business community are here as well. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, again, good morning. I'm honored to be here. I again want to thank all of our friends at VCCI, including Dr. Lop, Tao Griffiths, many others, for the great work they've done here as co-hosts for this year's, the third Indo-Pacific Business Forum. Also want to recognize the great support from the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, the U.S. ASEAN Business Council, and of course the important sponsorship of the U.S. Trade and Development Agency. It's my pleasure to be here at my second Indo-Pacific Business Forum. I'm glad there are so many people today joining us virtually as well. Dr. Lop tells me we have more than 2,200 participants today, twice as large as last year's forum. I think the success of today's forum and our meetings tomorrow proves that even in the middle of a global pandemic, we can leverage our technological capabilities to have great events and great meetings like this. Before I dive into my remarks, I also want to take a moment and express condolences on behalf of the U.S. government to those in central Vietnam who are suffering to cope with the historical floods that are occurring there. We deeply regret the loss of life. The United States of America stands with Vietnam, and we are committed to assisting Vietnam as it rebuilds and recovers. Of course, the theme of today's event is we are celebrating this year the 25th anniversary of the United States and Vietnam becoming diplomatic partners. Although in the hourglass of history, 25 years may seem like a brief time, the progress of the U.S.-Vietnam bilateral relationship has been absolutely extraordinary. Some even might call it miraculous. But whenever I talk about that, I think about the conversation I had nearly 3 years ago with the first American ambassador to Vietnam, Pete Peterson. And when I told him that what we had achieved together was a miracle, he told me I was wrong. That what we have done together is remarkable, but it was not an accident, it was not an act of God. Rather, the friendship, the mutual respect, the trust that we have built and enjoy today was built through hard work, courage, commitment, sincerity, and dedication by many amazing leaders in both Vietnam and the United States, and we're very grateful to all of them. So the events taking place today and tomorrow are a great example of how all of us, our two governments, work hard every day toward the goal of shared prosperity. Everyone in this room has contributed to the growth of our bilateral relationship. And I believe that each of you here today will continue our partnership and will make it even stronger moving forward. In 1995, our two countries made a bold decision to normalize diplomatic relations, charting a new course in our shared history. 25 years later, our tireless dedication in developing our bilateral relationship has given birth to a dynamic and wide-ranging partnership between our two countries that is absolutely stunning. In areas as diverse as trade, development, education, healthcare, energy, and security, the United States and a strong, prosperous, and independent Vietnam are working together with a shared commitment to regional peace and prosperity. As we look to the future, to the next 25 years, we can only expect that our expanding trade and business relationship will further intertwine our economic success. Vietnam's success will continue to be our success. It is in America's national interest to see a strong, prosperous, and independent Vietnam. And yet today I want to underscore that 25 years ago, only visionaries could have imagined what we've achieved today. In 1995, when President Bill Clinton announced the normalization of U.S. diplomatic relations with Vietnam, our two countries had very little trade, only $450 million annually. Today, our bilateral trade flows have reached $77 billion. We've also collaborated to pursue reciprocal trade relations in all sectors, including manufacturing, pharmaceuticals, and food, just to mention a few. Major U.S. firms have invested billions both in Vietnam's manufacturing sector and in its infrastructure. And we expect U.S. investment in energy and other infrastructure to continue and even accelerate under our Indo-Pacific economic vision. And Vietnam's growing middle class and strong, stable GDP growth indicate there is still enormous potential for further growth and for our collaborative work in ensuring the free and fair flow of goods and investment, which undoubtedly contributes to our mutual prosperity. Today, we're witnessing concrete examples of the outcome of this great partnership. It's not just happy talk. It's not just great talking points that we're promoting here today. We are getting real things done and getting real business done. By the end of this two-day Indo-Pacific Business Forum in Vietnam alone, our two countries will have signed and announced more than $11.5 billion in memorandums of understanding and agreements. We had just two this morning. The AES deal and the Delta Offshore Energy deals were both inked today. They're incredibly impressive. We have a lot to celebrate. And I think as soon as we're done here, we have several more deals to sign as well. I think what's even more impressive is that all of these signings totaling $11.5 billion have embraced the virtual nature of today's world with signatories in 9 cities across 4 countries. Earlier today, as I mentioned, of course, we celebrated both the AES PV Gas LNG import terminal joint venture with PV Gas, and we signed a moment ago the Delta Offshore Energy deal with key U.S. businesses like Bechtel, GE, and McDermott for the Bacalhau LNG 2-power project. A few details on some of the deals we're going to sign right after this speech is done, which motivates me to stop talking. The U.S. Grains Council will sign an MOU with MOIT on ethanol. That will solidify cooperation in the development of an environmentally and economically sustainable fuels in Vietnam. Vienna Capital and GE will sign an MOU for the development of the Long An LNG to Power project. And ExxonMobil will sign a trilateral cooperation agreement with Haiphong City and Japan-based JERA for the Haiphong LNG to Power project. The Haiphong project is a symbol of the remarkable progress that we've made under the Japan-U.S. Strategic Energy Partnership, or JUSEP. These are all great examples of our progress over the past 25 years. They are great examples of how we will bridge our partnership far into the future. Still, I think it's important to recognize, even as we celebrate 25 years and we feel proud about what we've accomplished, our work is not over. In fact, I'm confident that we've only just begun. There's no doubt that several challenges and opportunities await us in the future. You need look no further than 2020 to see the unprecedented and profound challenges that COVID-19 has presented by causing a global pandemic that has affected the lives of millions around the world. upending livelihoods and affecting the global economy. Even here, though, we have shown, the United States and Vietnam, that we can come together to face these challenges standing side by side. In fact, U.S.-Vietnam health cooperation has been a point of hope and a bright spot in our relationship. To date, the United States has contributed over $13 million and donated 100 ventilators to help Vietnam in the fight against COVID-19. We've also experienced the immeasurable kindness and graciousness of the Vietnamese people, both from the government of Vietnam and private citizens, businesses, and other organizations which have donated millions of masks and other medical protective equipment to help Americans in our fight against COVID-19. We have a saying, of course, that a friend in need is a friend indeed, and I'm confident after my time here in Vietnam that the United States has no better friend than Vietnam. We're very grateful that we have helped one another in this pandemic, and we're confident that the generosity of the Vietnamese government and the Vietnamese people has helped save American lives. We shall never forget it. Really shows just how true partners and friends can use our strengths to help one another in times of need. We're grateful for this partnership. We know we can count on this spirit of cooperation to help our countries overcome future challenges and achieve mutual prosperity as well. Finally, as I consider the path that our two countries have traveled to date, I think our greatest achievement is perhaps the most simple one and yet most profound, and that is today we can call one another partners and friends. We are more secure and prosperous thanks to our friendship and the strength it gives to our partnership, a partnership that makes me confident and optimistic about our shared future. So as we continue with this day and tomorrow's session of the Indo-Pacific Business Forum, I encourage us all to reflect on our shared history and to express our thanks to all of those who came before us, whose tireless and courageous efforts were instrumental in building the friendship we now enjoy. I hope that reflecting on that history will further motivate us to redouble our efforts to continue moving forward as trusted partners and friends, prospering together for the next 25 years and beyond. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Ambassador Daniel Creighton-Brink. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Chairman and President of Vietnam Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Dr. Vũ Tiến Lộc.
Minister of Trade and Industry of Vietnam, Mr. Trần Tuấn Anh, U.S. Ambassador Mr. Daniel Creighton-Brink, U.S. AID Mission Director in Vietnam, Anne-Marie Yatishok, government official, business leader, ladies and gentlemen. I wish to start up with the warmest welcome to Ms. Anne-Marie Yatishok, who has just spoken on screen. I understand that this is the first month of your assignment here in Vietnam as a U.S. AID Mission Director. We warmly welcome you to our country and become our close friends. As you had said, we always very proud to talk about flagship cooperation between USAID and VCCI that has dated back many years ago, but most significantly and consistently since 2005 with the Provincial Competitiveness Index PCI project. The PCI was designed to assess and rank performance capacity and willingness of the provincial government to develop business-friendly environment for private sector development. The PCI has become the most successful tool and platform for both domestic and foreign companies in Vietnam to voice their opinion and on a regular basis to an official channel. PCI is highly recognized by our government leadership, policymaker, provincial authority, and international counterparts. Devoid of 120,000 companies over the past 15 years have been heard loud and very clear. It has contributed significantly to ongoing administrative public reform and to simplify business procedure by half. One upon a time, named United States and USAID were considered somewhat sensitive, but now this name brings friendship and partnership welcomed by hundreds of thousands of official business people and the people at grassroots level. This is indeed a shining example of the US-Vietnam partnership. The American community in Vietnam is doing business and contributing to the improvement of the business environment for sustainable development and prosperity for Vietnamese people. For that, on behalf of Vietnam business community, I would like to convey our sincere thanks to the US government, US business, and American taxpayer to support economic development program in Vietnam. My friends, Ambassador Christian Brink, it is exactly 3 years ago, in the evening of October 26, 2016, that you were announced as a next US ambassador to Vietnam. We was very delighted to hear the news, as we had already had the privilege to see your company, President Obama, to come to Vietnam in May that year. At the APEC Summit in November in Da Nang, I met you again when you were the boat with President Trump as the first announced the Indo-Pacific strategy. In the last 3 years of your ambassadorship, we have witnessed our bilateral relationship go from strength to strength. Thank you for your commitment and dedication to advancing our partnership. And it is a delight when I hear you say with much pride that you have said, I have the best job on earth in Vietnam. Ladies and gentlemen, if history is many indication, the last 25 years has shown us that so much can be done when there's understanding and open dialogue. In 1994, bilateral trade between us was 450 million US dollar. In 2019, it was 77 million US dollar, which is an increase of more than 170-fold with a quarter of the century. That's truly exponential. As we celebrate 25th anniversary of this partnership, the US is renewing its commitment to strong and independent Vietnam and a peaceful and prosperity in the Indo-Pacific region. Vietnam's leaders have also confirmed that the comprehensive partnership with Vietnam and the US will be further developed in an effective and sustainable manner in the interest of our two people and for the purpose of contributing to peace, security, and prosperity. To support our ever-growing partnership, on October 9th this year, BCCI and the American Chamber of Commerce in Vietnam announced to establish a US-Vietnam Business Council. To teach regular dialogue, the Council will seek to promote the growth of two-way trade and investment between our two countries by strengthening the linkages between the US and Vietnamese business community and eliminating barrier to trade and investment. I cannot emphasize enough the critical role of the U.S. Chamber of Commerce and the American business community represented by the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, AmCham in Vietnam. You are Vietnam long-term friends, supporting our economic partnership before bilateral normalization and throughout the past 20 years journey. Thank you very much, Thomas Danahol, Maron Brilliant, Ginny Foot, Chad Over, Mary Tanokaska, and Adam Scott of the U.S. Chamber and AmCham in Vietnam. Ladies and gentlemen, as we continue with the 25th anniversary, let us foster the U.S.-Vietnam relation into next 25 years. And we owe it to the people who lost their lives and their loved ones, but who still have the grace and the foresight to show that when opportunity comes, we can make the most of it for the people of our two nations in the best way possible. I hope Indo-Pacific Business Forum will be the annual event, and I hope to see all of you in the next year's our event. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Untitled, for your remarks. And once again, thank you, Minister Chen Tanang, Mission Director Justic Show, Mr. Ambassador Daniel Christenbring, and Dr. Untitled for sharing your thoughts on 25 years of economic partnership between U.S. and Vietnam. And now we invite all of you to come back to your seats in the audience. Ladies and gentlemen, now it's my great pleasure to introduce a set of commercial deal signings that highlight this great economic partnership and are a testament to the strength of the bilateral relationship between the United States and Vietnam. The three signings we are bound to witness build on the panels you have heard earlier today. First, we will have an MOU signing between the Ministry of Industry and Trade and the U.S. Greens Council that will enable meaningful cooperation to develop the ethanol sector in Vietnam. The second signing will be an MOU between Vina Capital and General Electric for the supply of gas turbines and engineering services for Long An LNG to power project, followed by the trilateral deal between ExxonMobil, Haiphong City, and JERA on Haiphong integrated LNG to power projects. To begin the commercial deals, we would like to turn to a video of U.S. Greens Council CEO Ryan LeGrand signing the ethanol MOU in Washington, D.C. in the witness of U.S. Department of Agriculture under Secretary Ted McKinney.
Của những cái hợp đồng làm ăn của hai bên. Cụ thể ngày hôm nay đó là hợp đồng nhà máy.
Well, hello all our friends out there in the land of corn and ethanol, and particularly to our friends in Vietnam. For those that do not know, the U.S. government and the government of Vietnam are celebrating a 25-year anniversary of once again coming back together and finding mutual ways to trade and collaborate and just get along, and it's been wonderful. I've been able to participate in 2 or 3 of those. And I would say this event here today fits right in with that spirit of collaboration and trade and cooperation. I'm here with my very good friend, Ryan LeGrand. Ryan is the CEO of the U.S. Grains Council. And in a moment, Ryan will sign the first part of the agreement that announces, well, I'm not going to get into it. I'll let them announce it. At any rate, I just want you to know that Vietnam has been a terrific partner. I've been there twice. We've got an A team there representing us through the Foreign Ag Service. We've met and re-met with many of the vice ministers, the minister and all, and I tell you, it's a relationship that I brag about to many, many people. And so here today, it's just a great pleasure for me to join Ryan, who will announce specifically what is coming down and I think it couldn't be with a better partner. So I'm pleased to be here, Ryan, with you personally, and by extension with our friends across Vietnam and across your industry. Over to you.
All right. Well, thank you, Mr. Undersecretary. We certainly appreciate the relationship that we have with you, USDA, and FAS. And that's here in D.C., over there in Vietnam, and in many other places around the world where we've had the opportunity to work together on issues like these. I want to give thanks to the Vietnamese government, and specifically MOIT, for their willingness to engage with the U.S. Grains Council and cooperate on a memorandum of understanding such as this that involves the increased production and consumption of ethanol in Vietnam. You know, the U.S. Grains Council has been involved in Vietnam for 25 years, since the resumption of diplomatic relations between our two nations. And just to arrive to this point where we as an association can find ourselves signing an agreement of cooperation with the Vietnamese government, it's a very exciting moment for me and for our organization. So thank you very much. You know, ethanol is something that it's a product that can bring great benefits to Vietnam in terms of air quality, in terms of industry stimulation, local industry stimulation, and job stimulation there in Vietnam. And for us, you know, we're looking to strengthen the bonds of trade with Vietnam that we've been working on for many years, and the signing of this MOU will just further cement those ties and strengthen that relationship that we have with Vietnam. So I'll go ahead and sign this now, and just want to give one last thank you to everyone that's been involved in this. FAS over there in Hanoi, I've had the opportunity to meet some of you, and you just have top-notch people over there in Vietnam. And thank you all for your work on this, and very happy to be signing this agreement today.
You bet. Well, let's see the magical moment here. We'll watch you sign, and then I'll offer a couple thoughts. Let me just say while Ryan is doing that without any doubt, my job and my head is mostly in government these days, as we try in the trade and foreign ag affairs area to push more exports, and of course we're a two-way street, so to the degree to which we can bring in imports, that's also good. But my heart is absolutely out there with the farmers, with our ethanol producers, and all the way down the chain to those that are benefiting from that. And you said it, the consumers of Vietnam, the government of Vietnam will benefit as well. So Ryan, well done, congratulations. And we'll look forward to the day when this is signed, the back half of it in Hanoi. Well, listen, thanks all very much, and congratulations, Ryan.
Thank you very much.
So ladies and gentlemen, we have just come to the MOU signing from Washington, D.C. And now we would like to bring your attention to the screen for a message from Vietnamese ambassador to the United States, the Honorable Mr. Ha Kim Ngọc.
Sẽ bắt chước theo gương của Việt Nam.
His Excellency Minister Trần Tuấn Anh, the Honorable Undersecretary Ted McKinney, Ambassador Dan Cooten-Brink, distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure and honor to witness the signing ceremony of the MOU between the Ministry of Industry and Trade of Vietnam and the U.S. Grains Council in biofuel field. This is a significant achievement in our energy and agriculture cooperation, and a highlight to celebrate the 25th anniversary of our relations. Such agreement will further bring into full play the commitments of our energy security dialogues as well as the trade action plan. I believe the MOU signed today will create broader opportunities for stronger cooperation between the U.S. Agriculture Association and Vietnamese partners in biofuel sector and beyond. On this occasion, I would like to express my sincere thanks to His Excellency Minister Trần Tuấn Anh and the Honorable Undersecretary Ted McKinney for their leadership, dedication, and efforts to promote the Vietnam-U.S. Comprehensive Partnership, especially in energy and agricultural trade. I wish you all safety, good health, and success. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ambassador Ha Kim Ngọc, for the remarks. And now, ladies and gentlemen, may we invite back to the stage Minister of Industry and Trade, Mr. Trần Tuấn Anh, Ambassador Daniel Crittenbring, and Dr. Vũ Tiến Lộc to witness these signings. I would like to invite on stage the representative from the U.S. Greens Council, Mr. Trần Trọng Nghĩa, and Agricultural Counselor, Mr. Robert Hansel. Finally, please welcome Mr. Trần Duy Đông, Director General of the Domestic Market Department of the Ministry of Industry and Trade, who will sign the MOU. Representatives, we'd like to invite Mr. Trần Duy Đông to sign the MOU. Congratulations to the Ministry of Industry and Trade and the U.S. Greens Council on the great accomplishment. May we invite all of you to remain on the stage for a group photo. Thank you so much. And now please come back to your seats in the audience. Ladies and gentlemen, we will come to the next MOU signing, which is the Vina Capital and GE MOU for the Long An LNG to Power project. Ladies and gentlemen, this MOU will provide general electric gas turbines and engineering services for the Long An LNG to Power project. However, before we sign the agreement, we'd like to invite on stage Mr. Brooke Taylor to provide the brief remarks.
Thank you, everyone. Good afternoon. It's my great honor to be invited here today to the Business Forum. I'd like to express my gratitude to the presence of all delegates from the Vietnam and United States governments, and especially representatives of the Long An People's Committee, who have also been able to travel and join us to be here today. Given Vietnam's significant growth, there is a significant need for new generation capacity, especially in southern Vietnam, where the electricity bottleneck between north and south creates a level of scarcity. Recognizing this issue, Vina Capital and the Long An People's Committee have worked closely to develop a plan for a 3,000 megawatt LNG powered fire station. LNG fueled electricity station. And we've also changed the license from that of coal-fired to LNG powered. The project is of strategic importance to Vietnam, as it will generate over 8% of the nation's electricity needs when commissioned. It will also generate electricity from a much cleaner power source than that was originally envisaged. It's my great honor to announce that yesterday we received an official support of the Long An People's Committee for Vina Capital to be the sponsor of this 3,000 megawatt power plant. And their support for Vina Capital signing an MOU with ExxonMobil and General Electric to support the project. We're delighted and honoured to announce that we have already signed an MOU with ExxonMobil, one of the world's largest publicly traded oil and gas companies, for the long-term supply of LNG to the project, worth between $8 and $10 billion over 10 years. And here today, we are excited and honoured again to sign an MOU with General Electric, one of the 15 largest companies in the United States and the world's leading provider of electricity power generation equipment, for the supply of GE gas turbines and associated equipment for the Long An project. The total value of that project will be around $1.5 billion. Once again, I would like to thank you for your presence today at the signing ceremony. I'd like to wish the Indo Business Council all the best and great success. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Brooke Taylor, and may we invite you to remain on stage. And also, we'd like to invite on stage GE Country Director, Mr. Phạm Hồng Sơn, to come to the stage and sign the MOU. And also, we'd like to invite on stage Minister of Industry and Trade, Mr. Trần Tuấn Anh, Dr. Vũ Tiến Lộc, Chairman of BCCI, and Ambassador Kristen Brink and Mr. Nguyễn Anh Việt of the Department of Industry and Trade for Long An Province to witness the signing. Ladies and gentlemen, up next is the virtual signing ceremony. That is a trilateral agreement between ExxonMobil, Haiphong City, and JERA as they seek greater cooperation to develop the Haiphong Integrated LNG to Power project. The ExxonMobil-led project will develop a 4,500 megawatt LNG to power plant in the city of Haiphong to help address the country's growing energy needs. The Haiphong project is a symbol of the remarkable progress that has been made under the Japan-US Strategic Energy Partnership, a partnership first announced in 2017 that focuses on providing joint US and Japanese support for commercial projects in the Indo-Pacific region, advancing the shared goals of creating transparency in the energy markets and providing access to reliable and modern energy services. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to bring attention to the screens.
Welcome, everybody. We are here today to sign an MOU between ExxonMobil, Haiphong City, and JERA for the development of an integrated LNG to power project in Haiphong City. Vietnam holds promise to continue its robust economic growth of around 7% over the long term. Along with this anticipated economic growth, power demand is expected to grow approximately 8% per year till 2030. This MOU represents cooperation between the three parties under the Japan-US Strategic Energy Partnership and Asia Edge to support energy access and investments for the sustainable economic development and energy security in Vietnam. This project consists of a power plant and an LNG import terminal in Haiphong to provide affordable, clean, reliable, and efficient energy to the growing demand in North Vietnam. Representing ExxonMobil is Mr. Petiza Syed, President, ExxonMobil LNG Market Development Inc., and Director, ExxonMobil Haiphong Energy Private Limited. Representing Haiphong City is Mr. Nguyen Van Thong, Chairman, Haiphong People's Committee. Representing JERA is Mr. James Vigil, Managing Executive Officer, Senior Operating Officer, Business Development Department, JERA Company, Inc.
ExxonMobil has significant experience in the LNG business with more than 40 years of project development history. Together with our valued partners, ExxonMobil has been a driving force in transforming the LNG market into a more efficient global business. We're honored to join hands with JERA to explore innovative solutions to bring about competitive LNG to power projects in Haiphong City. It is my pleasure to conclude this MOU on behalf of ExxonMobil.
Vừa rồi thì đại diện của ExxonMobil có nói rằng là sắp tới dự án năng lượng Hải Phòng này sẽ cung cấp điện cho Hải Phòng cũng như là miền Bắc những nguồn điện năng lượng sạch về khí hóa lỏng. Như quý vị thấy là ngày hôm nay như vậy là có tới 3 địa điểm, ít nhất là 3 địa điểm, 3 tỉnh thành sắp tới sẽ sử dụng điện
will result in rising demand for power consumption, and expectedly this consumption is to double between 2020 to 2030. Haiphong City is really pleased and happy to cooperate with ExxonMobil and JERA to implement this project to provide clean energy for Vietnam in Haiphong. This is very efficient project with both economic and environmental benefits, and we are very happy and hope that this MOU will soon become a reality.
Ông Nguyễn Văn Tùng, Chủ tịch Ủy ban nhân dân thành phố Hải Phòng vừa ký biên bản MOU và ông ấy phát biểu rằng là ông rất vui mừng, cảm thấy rất là vui khi mà ký cái hợp đồng MOU này.
It is my pleasure to be here today. JERA brings the combined strength and wealth of experience to every aspect of the LNG value chain, ranging from LNG supply, transportation, receiving terminals, and gas-fired power plants of its founding companies in order to advance the energy initiatives to Haiphong City, Vietnam, based on our 50-year-long history in the LNG to power business. Together with ExxonMobil, this MOU will integrate our collective strengths in both power and LNG to explore competitive and sustainable solutions as Vietnam continues to implement its economic development plans that will require new infrastructure and increased energy demand. I am very happy to sign this MOU on behalf of JERA.
Như vậy là dự án điện Hải Phòng, năng lượng ở tại Hải Phòng được hợp tác với hai đại công ty đó là JERA và ExxonMobil. Xin chúc mừng Hải Phòng.
Distinguished audience, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Kiyoshi Ejima, State Minister of Economy, Trade and Industry, Japan. On behalf of Japanese government, I would like to congratulate Haiphong City, JERA, and ExxonMobil for a new partnership and leadership in developing the Haiphong LNG terminal project. While Japan and Vietnam has forged a very close bilateral relationship, Japan and the U.S. agreed on Japan-U.S. Strategic Energy Partnership, JUSEP, to enhance a wide range of energy cooperation, such as jointly supporting LNG project. METI believes that this MOU will be a symbolic commitment to unite three countries together in a very positive way under JUSEP framework. Japanese government will keep every support for this project and look forward to its future progress. Thank you.
Once again, congratulations to ExxonMobil, Haiphong City, and JERA for this agreement. And now, ladies and gentlemen, may we invite on stage Haiphong People's Committee Chairman, Mr. Nguyễn Văn Tùng, Minister Trần Tuấn Anh, and Ambassador Kristen Brink, and Dr. Vũ Tiến Lộc to join me on stage for one final picture. Please.
Ông
here today, both live and virtually. And I would like to close today's forum by thanking Mr. Trần Tuấn Anh, Ambassador Chris Bring, and Dr. Vũ Triển Long for your time here today. And also, we'd like to extend our thanks to our speakers and presenters for their participation in this informative discussion. There's been a lot of substantial content covered today, and it's a great news because all of them has been recorded and is available to the attendees in the forum. And once again, thank you so much to our virtual audience joining us from over 50 countries around the world. And for our attendees live with us here in Hanoi, we'd like to invite all of you to enjoy the buffet lunch